All right, we're recording. All right, so didn't really prepare an intro for this. I guess you got to introduce yourself, I think.
Alrighty, how you guys doing? I'm Dan Adams. I run the Red and Black Wrestling, and I'm with Julius today, and we're going to be talking about the Journeymen Tournament that just happened this weekend.
Yep, and you guys already know me. I run the TechFall TableTalks podcast, and yeah, we're gonna talk about the Journeymen. Talk about not every single New York City wrestler, but I've opened up a bunch of tabs, and we're gonna go through some of the matches here. Probably not every single one, but we're gonna go through a few of them and give some commentary. So actually, first thing we're gonna start with is we're gonna start with a junior league wrestler. You probably know him, Tristan Levin, Jacob Levin's little brother. Gonna see how he did. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on this match right here. This was in the first day of the tournament, the overflow, and Tristan was in a round robin, so he wrestled everybody in his bracket. Let's see how he did. And nothing's happening. Can you say anything, Dan? Or?
No, I just got a black screen. It's not showing anything.
Yeah, same here. Um, yeah. I see. That's the issue. All right.
You didn't log it.
No, it logs you out automatically.
Alright,
You sit there and like don't do anything. We're gonna get back into it though. All right, here we go. All right, so just to not have any dead audio, New York City Wrestlers, they didn't have the best tournament, but these guys definitely fought hard. What do you think of it? If you saw any matches?
yeah, I didn't get to see any matches. I was working this whole weekend, so I didn't get to see any of the matches like I really wished I had. But I'm looking forward to taking a look at them now.
Yep. If Flow Wrestling would allow me to do this. Wow, it seems like it really doesn't want to work. Oh, it just started working.
There we go.
Ah, dang. All right. All right, so we have to wait a sec. All right, well, we can't have any dead audio, so we gotta talk a little bit. So Tristan Levin, he wrestles for the Farrell Youth Club, and obviously you went to Farrell High School. So have you met him? Have you gotten to wrestle with him at all?
Yeah, actually, when he was wrestling for our kids club program, him and Jacob, I got to scrap with them for a little bit. But they were so like significantly lighter than me. It was more of like a play wrestling kind of thing. Um, both both of the Levins are very technical wrestlers. And Tristan, I feel like he's a bit more scrappy. Jacob kind of like he thinks out more of his wrestling. Tristan's like, let me just get in there and wrestle. Um, so every match you see with Tristan is just no matter what wrestling position he's in, he's just always doing something.
Yeah, definitely. And I saw a couple of his matches. I didn't see this particular one, but I saw one where he lost and one where he won. And you're definitely right about that scrappiness. He's just always scrapping all the time. And you're gonna see a little bit of that here. Turn the volume on so everybody can hear it. Fix that quality a little bit. It's hyper.
See right in on that shot.
Coming through the back door.
Out the back, looking to finish. And he gets the finish. Oh, no, wait.
Now he had already had a couple of matches before that, so he's obviously definitely made improvements throughout the tournament. Yeah, he must like that
What-
position. It's a pretty nifty position to be in. Stalemate. If he was in high school, I don't think they would have called that, but
right back in on that leg.
very smooth. Getting on the shot. Very smooth. Textbook single leg. It's textbook right there. See that? He kept his feet in. Didn't give him anything, did they? So not too sure if Tristan scored there or not, but the scoreboard's not saying anything.
There we go. I lagged out for a sec.
See that again, Dan? Oh, you didn't say anything.
Oh no, I was just lagging for a little bit.
Yeah, so guys, if you see us lagging as we're trying to give commentary, it's just because we're watching a video. It's going to do that. But I hope you guys can listen to what we're saying, even if we're not matching it up with our faces. So the video froze for a sec. That actually has nothing to do with Zoom. It's just lagging a little bit. So yeah, I'm still not sure why the scoreboard didn't change at all. Decrease the quality a little bit. Back a little bit. Yeah, so Tristan's trying to fight off bottom right now. I'm going to keep it out of full screen. It'll work better.
Alrighty, and it looks like the period ended. And more lag.
More lag, yeah. But Tristan's definitely looking very smooth. Looking real good. Getting into his shots. More and more lag. Wow. This is try to decrease the quality even more. See if we can get something going here. Gonna go backwards a little bit. That should help out. So the clock isn't even running. Notice that, right?
Yeah, I'm not seeing. Yeah, there's no time. There's no score.
Yeah, somebody at that table is not doing a good job.
Yeah,
But
not,
But looking at Tristan, when he hit that single leg, he did keep his feet in. He did a good job having good mat awareness there. So he got two. So right now the score is 2-0. So since the guy at the clock is doing a bad job, we're gonna help you guys out with that. So it should still be the first period here. Here we go again with this lag. Flow wrestling, man. Only you. I'm gonna go ahead and refresh the page, see if that'll help. And guys, just to let you know, this has nothing to do with Zoom or anything like that. Any of you that have flow accounts, they tend to lag. It's just normal internet stuff. It's not anything that has to do with what we're trying to do right now. Let's get back into it. It'll take a second to load, but that's just how this does. Always does that. As far as how Tristan's looking, he's looking pretty good in this match.
Yeah, he's looking really good. He's just having a little bit of trouble finishing with shots. He's getting in good position to finish, but it seems like the way the kid's defending, he doesn't know how to finish through the kid's defense.
Yeah, and the kid's a little bit taller than him too, so wrestling taller, lanky guys, it gives some trouble at times. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let the video play, let it run at whatever quality it wants to run at. You can see the line over there. So make sure when it starts to buffer, take care of that. So yeah, I realized we started over, but everything's going in slow-mo. I'm gonna go ahead and keep the volume off for these matches. The volume's very distorted. It's not like you're gonna hear much anyway. But it really does seem like, looking back at it again, Tristan's doing a very good job of continuing to fight through the position, continuing to wrestle through the position. You know, he's not just getting stuck anywhere. That's a good thing. Okay. Looks the leg. And we get lag. Oh, anymore. Measuring trying on this. It's a difficult position there. And like I said earlier, I've been in that position in college recently. They wouldn't call it a stalemate. So, like, if I was reffing that, I know they're middle schoolers, but I still wouldn't have called it a stalemate there. Boom, single leg. His head was down a bit, but did a good job recovering. See that? One leg went out, then he brought it back in. Okay. He got his two. I saw the ref's hand go up, even though whoever's at the computer is not doing a good job.
Yeah, not at all, man.
Clock isn't even running. That's crazy. Tristan's pretty strong, just moving him around pretty well. That kid hit a good Granby roll. Now what's he going for? It looks like a cradle.
Yeah, he has it locked up.
Now he's throwing
the right side.
He hit the reversal. Now he's trying to throw the leg in. Tristan doing a good job of not letting that happen. So I know the score thing, the score bar is not saying anything, but the score should be 2-1 right now. Tristan has 2 points from a takedown. The other kid got a reversal. My apologies, 2-2.
There we go.
I was thinking about freestyle. My fault.
Right back in on that shot.
If he was older, he would have chose bottom, but oh, and just so everybody know, Jacob Levin is actually in his corner. He was cornering him, and Tristan was cornering Jacob, so they were cornering each other for all the matches. Coach Sishan, the coach of Tottenville, he wasn't around for this tournament. Yeah, that's two. Tristan, you gotta get right back up, bro. Yep. Granby roll. Granby rolls are fun. They're definitely fun. See if I could turn the audio back on. Tristan's trying his damnedest to get out of there.
Yeah. Kid's much bigger than him, so he's having a little bit of a hard time. But he's moving really well on bottom.
Yeah, better than, no offense, but better than most kids in the city. Tristan definitely has he's one of the kids in the city that definitely has a better understanding of the bottom position. See, what he has to do here is get both his legs to one side. Oh, I think he did that. Yep. Now he's in the tripod, trying to shake him off. Yep. That's something a lot of us in New York City we're not very good with. There's ways to get out of the legs, and Tristan found a way. Not too sure what just happened. Again, guys, we apologize if we're not being very clear on, who's has what, how many points or whatever. It's the person at the clock's job to do that, and they're not doing a good job. As you can see, the match has progressed, and the clock has still not ran at all.
Yeah, they don't even have their names on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it's very bad. But Tristan does seem to be doing a good job moving around and wrestling well. Get his other leg, get his other leg. Scrambling, scrambling. Again, it's fun for the younger kids to wrestle like that. It's fun. Even for the high schoolers, it's fun. Red had gotten two. Okay. I guess Red had gotten a reversal. Never reach back. It's a lesson for everybody. Never reach back.
Yeah, especially when a guy got the boot. The last thing you want to do is reach back because now you're giving him more to work with.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely working on him. Ooh, man, he's being a little aggressive with his arm. That's the head lever. You guys at Farrell, you're pretty good with that.
Yeah.
He's cranking that thing. Good thing Tristan's strong. I'm not worried about him getting hurt, but still, the kid's just cranking that thing. Match is over. Red one. Well, hey, Tristan definitely fought hard and he moved really well. Moved around real well. Let's see if we can get another match. I'm gonna take it back to the home screen then, all right? So now we're gonna look at it. Somebody else who competed in the overflow, Elias Romero. He's from Horseman, actually. I don't know if you guys have wrestled Horseman at all,
No.
but you saw him at Maris Cup probably. Horseman is actually in the Bronx, and they got some pretty good guys on their team from over the years, and Elias is one of them. I've actually trained with Elias a bunch at the Beat the Streets practices when they were still at Edge. Right now, they're using the Roosevelt Island, so pretty cool. I've gotten to train with Elias a lot. He's good. He's pretty good. Definitely a great drill partner. I've always had really good workouts with him and everything else. One thing in New York City is it's hard to find real good drill partners, but you gotta look. You gotta look. You gotta travel. And Elias is definitely a good partner. Something I've always said is, somebody who can drill well, it's not necessarily indicative of the accolades or vice versa. It's really an attitude thing. And Elias definitely has a great attitude. Like if you drill with him and you talk with him and you met him and you got a glimpse of his attitude and stuff, and you didn't know he was from the city, you wouldn't think he was, honestly. That's something us as a city, well, the guy's still in high school, they got to work on the attitude. But this match here, I actually saw this one. This is actually a good one. I am back. So, right, that's a little loud. Sometimes the people at the computer talk. It shouldn't be. Elias went right in for that shot. He's scrapping. He's not playing games. He's scrapping. So, Coach Barry Hart, the head coach at Beat the Streets, and Steven Santamaro, the head coach at Madison High School in Brooklyn, they're both the coaches for the Beat the Streets guys. And Elias hit that nice takedown. Sometimes grabbing at the waist works. He proved it there. Let's see his top game. Oh, you let him up? All right. My crowd. Ooh, nice, nice. He and I had drilled that a bunch. Job. Good
Another
job.
take.
Yeah. Fundamentals, huh? He and I would drill that a lot. Beat the Streets. Not freestyle, buddy. Got to hold him on his back. Kept going, kept going. I'm glad he's able to get a lead early. That's good. It's really good. All right, I've got to call that out. If the period's about to end, do not let your opponent up. If you can't turn them, you keep them down. I'm not giving my opponents any points toward the end of the period.
All right, so that's what I was trying to notice. All right, so the periods are shortened, so it's a minute 30.
Okay.
So I was trying to figure out why that went by so fast.
Ah, I see. Yeah, usually in the off season, it'd be a minute and 30 because nobody's really, or in the preseason because no one's really in great shape usually because nobody's really training as hard as they would during the season. Not on purpose, just it's just structured that way. Can't wear yourself out. Can't wear your wrestlers out. Elias right now is trying to get up from bottom. He's moving. He's definitely moving well. He just has to keep moving. There we go. There we go. Yep. Yep.
There you go. Good movement.
New York City's starting to get a little bit better on bottom. A little bit better. Fortunately, that's the difference in a lot of these matches that we're going to see. But, all right. So, Daniel, I have to check my door real quick, but I want you to keep providing commentary.
You're ready. He's doing a good job moving on bottom a little bit. He gave up some back points there. You just got to stay moving on bottom. You really can't stay solitary because a lot of guys will take that as an opening to score points, as you just saw right here. So now the score is tied 4-4 going into the third period. And they're going to go on the feet. Oh, no, they're not. All right. So Romero's going to be on top now. This is the time to score some more points, get those points back. You know, you went up 4-2. You can't really chill on a lead like that, especially if you're just taking the kid down. You gotta keep the pressure on the whole time. And it looks like he got a quick escape. So this is the time where he should be trying to put in some takedowns.
Alrighty. So what happened while I was gone?
Quick escape for the other kid. Got a quick escape, and Romero got taken down.
Come on, Elias. Yes, again, for the audience, I already saw this. I know the outcome, but Elias definitely wrestled well. He kept it close. Kept it close. Ooh, I didn't know that happened. I said I knew the outcome, but forgot about that. I pinned. Well, hey, let's look at how he wrestled. Let's look at the score. He kept it close and definitely moved very well. So, in my mind, Elias had a good match. No one wants to get pinned, but you're all right. But yeah, hey, there's things we got to work on. As tough as some of us wrestled, we got to get a little bit better than that. All right, who we have next? All right. So I'm gonna go back to Tristan. I want to do him justice. I didn't see his last match. I want to see if he won it or not. See if he did.
The easiest way to tell on Flow Wrestling if a wrestler won is how they list the names. So it says Mason Todd, Extreme Wrestling, then Tristan. So it would be that Mason Todd won the match.
Oh man, dang.
That's usually how they do it on Flow. So if Tristan's name is listed first, that means he won the match.
Oh, okay, I got you. See, I didn't know that.
So that's
Thanks
how
for
they
that little.
do it on Flow.
Thanks for that tidbit. Well, I didn't want to. I really didn't want to like spoil the outcome, but I was hoping he won. Yeah, it was just a tough day for New York City. But let's see how Tristan looked during this match, because some of the guys that lost all their matches, unfortunately, or lost a bunch, they definitely improved by every match. So let's see how much Tristan improved from that match to this one. Boom. He loves that single leg. Coming through the back door. Oh, you gotta shelf that thing. Or come through the back door. I would have reset somewhere there. Scrambling around. Shelf it. Shelf. Yes, there we go. Oh, this kid is trying to scramble with him. Oh, man. Oh, I got him. Jacob's out there yelling at him. All right. I'm going to keep the volume off for the rest of these videos because it's going to keep going in and out anyway because we're doing a video chat. It's getting tilted pretty bad.
Kid's doing a good job with those boots, though.
Yeah. He's got him tied up. Oh, Tristan reversed it. Good. Good, got a reversal. It's already 5-2, though. Dang. Jacob's coaching him hard. Go through. Ooh, dang. Got to fight harder there, Tristan. I was at practice earlier, and guys did stuff like that on bottom and things like that. Nobody gave up anything easy. Nobody gave escapes easy or reversals easy from top and bottom and things like that. People really fought hard. Like, that's the level we need to get to. That's the level those guys are at. That's why they did what they did. It's just got a power half in there. Kid is just brutalizing him up top. Oh man.
Yeah, and there's another set of backs.
Yeah. All right, I mentioned Jacob was in his corner. Not for this match, my mistake. He might, obviously, he's probably somewhere there, but I catch him on camera. He got some other coaches coaching him. 9-2. This kid. Tristan's not giving up. He knows he has one more period left.
Yeah, and that kid chose top because he was scoring so many points already.
Yeah. We're usually taught not to do that, but if we could pin somebody, if we can tilt them left and right, choose top. Yeah. Oh, there, I saw Jacob running over there. Yeah, this guy's just a hammer on top. I think it's just, I know you said these guys are a little bit bigger, but Tristan's strong. He's not weak at all. Tristan's definitely strong. I think it's just a matter of the positioning specifically. these guys might be stronger in certain positions. I think that's what this is.
Yeah, I feel like he's definitely getting outsized here.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, you know what? There's a level that we need to get to in New York City. New York City Wrestlers, alumni, it's a level we have to get to. I think a lot of people found that out during this tournament. Let me go to what I was originally supposed to see. So now we got Sean Tansey. He's from New York City. Trains at Collegiate. Let's see. That's where he wrestles at. I wasn't gonna play a 30-second match. Like any other kid in that 30-second match trains at the M2 Training Center, aka what David Taylor coaches at. So yeah, I think I kind of know what would happen. But Sean, he's good. He's pretty good. I never got to train with him, but I've been in the same room as him. He's pretty good. I haven't seen much of him wrestling wise, but he qualified for the Super 32, so that's something. And was at a camp recently before I got to college, so he definitely puts in the work. He's in shape too. See what he does. Don't fix your knee pad. You're not wrestling your knee pad. Keep your butt facing the center. Oh, don't let him touch your leg. Gotta fight through that. The other kid got two. Sean with a quick escape. Single leg is there. Two. Oh, quick escape. Good. Good, good. Stop fixing your knee pad. Bad shot. He's doing a good job so far. Is it green choice? Green chose bottom. Okay. Gotta turn him, Sean. Try. Don't let him out, Sean. All right. Ooh, that was nice. I couldn't get it. Couldn't get it. Nice attempt, though. Nice attempt. Nice shot. Okay. All right. Doing good. Doing good. It's only the second period. Keep him down for 10 seconds. Hey, Dan, how you feel about him moving right now?
He's definitely picked up the pace a little bit better. I'm sorry I'm being so quiet. I'm just like really focusing in on this match. But he's starting to really put his pace together and what's starting to work for him. He's got another period to figure it out. Um, and it looks like he chose bottom. So he's gonna go on bottom now, tie up the score, and hopefully score another takedown and ride out, um, and not go into overtime.
Definitely. Oh, this kid is strong. I
Oh,
didn't expect that.
and he's quick right back up on his feet, right in on a
Yeah.
re-attack. I would. There we go. So he's
Bad
in.
shot.
He's right in on a shot, couldn't shoot with his head down. Um, Going upper body, maybe seeing a throw here. And right back in the middle.
The other guy has bigger legs. That plays a role whenever Sean gets in. Take a bad shot.
There you go. Just mule kicked away, preventing a takedown.
Yeah.
Got 30 seconds. You got to do something.
Stop taking bad shots, dude. Why? No, no. It wasn't good.
Not be taking shots from the open then. Got 10 seconds.
Unless you're freakishly sharp. Okay. I mean, that time it worked. Barry's excited. That time it worked. All right. That time it worked, but guys watching, don't take shots from so far away. It's not usually going to work. Worked here. Good job, Sean, but usually it's not what you want to do.
Yeah, usually it never works.
Yeah. Plus, you're like freakishly Sean. He found an angle from that bad shot, and good job there. Who's next? Jacob. All right. So, I saw his matches. He didn't wound up not winning any of his matches, but he looked better from every match from one match to the next. So let's look at his first match and his last match. First match is short. So Jacob is one of two returning All-Americans. Well, yeah, coming into this season. So got him, and you got Cameron Mayfield from Eagle Academy. Cameron All-American in middle school, I believe, at Virginia Beach. But Jacob did it recently, right after the Journeymen State Tournament that was in PA months ago. So Jacob definitely, he made a jump. I remember talking about it. He took 8th at the States, and then he took 5th at Virginia Beach in a matter of 14 days. That's a big jump. Fargo didn't go too well for him. He had some tournaments before Fargo. Didn't go very well. This tournament didn't go great for him either, but I did talk to him earlier. He'll be back. He'll get back in it. I think it's just a matter of maybe plateauing. I guess he's as good now as he was when he All-American, which isn't bad, but there's a higher level to get to. And I think everybody in New York City found that out over this past weekend. Let's see this first match. So this guy, Hayden Cunningham. I saw the last name. I see where he trains at. You think he might be related to Casey Cunningham?
Probably not.
You're not? I mean, he trains at M2. I mean, maybe. But either way, he definitely trains at a good spot. We know the coaches they have. I know some of the training partners that he has. So it's definitely an advantage. But Jacob doesn't really, he's been, since COVID and stuff, he's been training in Jersey. He always kind of has been doing that, but since COVID, right, how it affected New York City. So he's been in Jersey all the time training there. So that's part of how he made the jumps that he made, even though he was already good to begin with. So one thing you'll see here, this is not a delay on Flo's part. It's not a delay in the match. It's not a delay on us. Jacob's just not at the mat yet. One thing I said to myself as I was watching this live is you never want to be like the second guy lingering on the mat. So you always want to be the first guy on the mat. If you're not there before your opponent, you want to be right there. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna let you guys know right now. That match, Jacob actually wound up getting he got pinned pretty quick in that match. Flow wrestling sometimes messes up here and there, but they mess up like that. Sometimes they don't show the full match and stuff like that. I don't know why, but that's how it is for this thing. But Jacob wound up getting there to the match, and then he wrestled. He was kind of rushing in quite a bit and stuff like that, like trying to go for the dump and everything else. The kid got him. You know what? Since we didn't get to see anything, go to a second match and then go to his last match. Gotta have a comparison here. But Daniel, when you were at tournaments and stuff, would you always like make sure you're the first guy on the mat, or at least at the same time your opponent is?
Um, yeah, actually, like when I'm at tournaments and stuff like that, for the most part, it's just getting myself as prepared as possible, even if that means getting to the mat a few minutes earlier, warming up, just getting myself mentally ready as well. Um, and when you're the second guy on the mat, you really have no time to mentally prepare yourself for the match because you're rushing to the mat to get ready to wrestle almost immediately. So there's no time to prepare. You're going in there almost cold. So you can't warm up. You can't do anything. You literally just have to go straight through and wrestle.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's a little bit harder to get yourself ready when you're the second guy on the mat.
Yeah, definitely. And I know that these are big venues. You might be far away from your mat to begin with, but I personally never had an issue knowing where my mat was. Knowing how many matches were in front of me or how long the match was going to take, I had to figure that out. But in terms of, figuring out where I was going to wrestle, I never really had an issue with that. Speaking of issues, Flow Wrestling is acting stupid. So they're starting mid-match. It's already 4-1. I don't know why they're starting like that, but that's how they're starting. Jacob's in a scramble right now. Potentially dangerous. I'm not worried about that. Like I said, the Levins are strong. Jacob is pretty dang strong for his size. So I'm not worried about him getting hurt and scramble.
He's doing a good job posting off that leg when that guy's attacking. Guy has no power to drive.
Yeah. I actually wrestled with Jacob not that long ago, not many months ago. And yeah, I felt that. He definitely does a good job posting that. Jacob was also at the All-American camp. He came for one day at the camp I was at. Would hope that he picked up a few new tricks from there. Kid scored on him. 6-1 now. First period to right end. We're back on. And like I said earlier, Tristan Levin, his little brother's in his corner for every match. Because we're doing the video chat, I'm not going to play the audio on the matches because it's going to be distorted because we're doing a video chat. But Tristan's definitely loud and clear. You can hear his instructions and all that. Same thing vice versa during Tristan's matches. But I said, doing two things at once distorts the audio. So yeah, Jacobs looks like he's holding on for dear life. Tried something there. I don't know what that was. There's like a dump position kind of. Oh, see, because we have a farther view, it's hard to see. So the kid has Jacob's arms tied up. Yeah, he's got his arms tied up real good. Trying to get those back points. Now Jacob's really strong, so it's not going to be easy to turn him. What I'm seeing throughout these matches so far is it's really coming down to top and bottom. Not that much neutral. These
Yeah,
guys,
a lot of New York City wrestlers, from what I've been seeing, have been giving up a lot of points on bottom.
but these guys at the tournament here, they don't mind giving up a couple of takedowns to get a reversal and then put the guy in the back and score even more points. Rolls, man. And it's just wrestling through. For the audience, I don't know if you picked that up. They're moving quick, but their first line of defense is the baseline D. but they quickly figure out that that's not going to work. So then they go to the Grammy role versus a lot of New York City kids who go for the Grammy role for the first move. Not necessarily a good idea. These guys just understand top and bottom a little bit better. And I also want to point out, they're not all from the same place. They're not having their state names or anything like that next to the names, what state they're in, but they got their school and the clubs. And if I know some of them, I'll be able to tell you. But if I don't, I can't. Some of them PA, some of them Jersey, some of them Ohio, different places, Journeymen. Some of them Florida even, which is far away from PA, which is where the tournament's being held at. Yeah, I remember this part of the match. That kid did not give up on that cradle. Uh-oh. Yeah, uh, yeah, that happened. That definitely happened. He'll be back. Obviously, he had a bad weekend. A lot of kids in the city did. Jacob, like I talked to him earlier, he'll be back. He has a growth mindset. He'll be all right. He'll definitely get back to it. But yeah, that's really been the story so far, as New York City guys go. So now I got a little surprise for you, since you host the Catholic School Wrestling podcast and you interviewed Eric. We're gonna play some of Eric's matches. Now I want to let the audience know, if you're only seeing 2 matches or 3 matches or 1 match or something, all these guys had more than 1 and more than 2 matches. Just that flow acts stupid sometimes. They don't record every match, every tournament. I don't know why, but not every match got recorded. So I'm pretty sure Eric had to have had more than 2 matches.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna play his first match. We're just gonna do one here. This is really for Daniel because he hosts a Catholic school wrestling podcast. So before we get started, talk about Eric a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, when I first met Eric, it was at the Catholic City tournament. Um, that kid is an outstanding wrestler. Like watching him just dominate that entire tournament the way that he did. Like he was literally stepping on and off the mat. Um, and he's also like a super nice kid, very funny. Um, a lot of guys in the Catholic League are. Um, and the interview I did with him was pretty fun. I'm looking to get him back on for another one at some point in the season, maybe after he wins Catholic States. Um, but yeah, he's like a super nice kid, very talented wrestler.
It's great. Yeah, it's cool. And yeah, it's always good to have both, being a good wrestler and actually a good person. And just looking at his stance, like he's just looking at his stance, the way he's calculating things. He looks like he's done this before.
Oh yeah, 100%. And he was only a freshman too. He's now going to be a sophomore.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh,
Yeah, he's super young too. Like in the way he dominated the whole section, the way he did, it was like as a freshman. He ended up taking third in the Catholic State tournament, which is pretty good for a freshman. But like the
he's
fact that
from
like a lot of upperclassmen were like scared of the kid, didn't really want to wrestle him, and like to have that reputation as a freshman was crazy.
yeah, it definitely is. He's from Connecticut, right?
Yeah. So as you can see, from the scoreboard, he wrestles for Empire Wrestling. A couple of guys from the section, uh, from the Catholic section, wrestle for Empire, So Grant, Robbie Haran, both from Iona. Matt Kelly and AJ Kovacs, who went to Iona, they also wrestled for Empire. Um, PJ Duke, who now wrestles for Minnesink Valley,
Yep.
wrestles for Empire. Um, a lot of talented wrestlers compete for this club, and some go on to wrestle in our section under Iona because one of the coaches, uh, John Deagle, runs the program for Empire, and he coaches at Iona. So he'll get a couple of guys to come to Iona and wrestle for Iona, which is how they
Since
got Grant.
was Grant at that duel thing I went to when I watched you wrestle?
Which one?
The one that you guys wrestled Stepanek, Xavier. It was at Fordham Prep. Fordham Prep as
Um,
well.
if I was wrestling at it, then no, because he would have been in 8th grade. But
Okay.
um, because I graduated like the year he was coming in. So
Oh, I got you.
yeah, so he's now gonna be a sophomore.
Ah, but he's definitely wrestling older than he is because he
Oh
scored
yeah,
five.
100%.
And guys watching this, we're not talking much about the moves he's doing. Why? Because he's not doing anything fancy. It's
Yeah.
basic stuff.
I also had I had wrestled John Deagle's son at that tri meet.
From Iona?
Yeah, Sean
Oh,
Deagle.
I
He's a
remember.
very nice kid.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, he's a
that
very
match.
nice kid.
Yeah, I remember that match because you did what you did, and then he reacted the way he reacted.
But he's
I
a
remember
super
why.
nice kid. I love the kid. Um, doing my stuff for the website, I'd be at a lot of the matches and events, and I'd see him there, and we would just talk. He ended up being a Catholic State finalist at 138. Um, yeah, which was like super impressive considering that last year at 120, he uh he placed like 6th or something like that. Like he didn't place too high, so to go from that low of a place to a finalist the next year was like super incredible. Um, he ended up wrestling Mike Sanfilippo in the finals,
Yeah,
who, NYU commit, super talented wrestler. So there's no doubt in my mind that we're gonna see Grant and Deagle at the top of the podiums the next couple of years.
well, definitely, definitely. He's just he's being calculated. He's not
Yeah,
wasting any energy.
it's not uncommon to see Grant up this much.
Really.
Yeah, like every match you'll see, he's at least leading by this many points. If he hadn't already won the match already, you know what I mean? Like that's how
Yeah,
dominant of a wrestler this kid is. He's either up by a large amount late in the third period, he's like almost at like a tech, or the match is already over, he's pinned the kid, and you know what I mean? Like he's super dominant, like it's crazy. And like the way he moves too when he's wrestling, he's like constantly looking to score. Even if he's up by 7 points, he's always looking to score more points.
that's it. A lot of people in New York City, they get a lead, they stop. Gotta keep going. Well, that he made one mistake. He reached back, but he recovered quick. Recovered real quick. Yeah. Anybody can make a mistake, but you gotta be able to recover from it. Did a good job of that. He's trying to turn him still. He's up 10-1. He's up by 9. He's still trying to turn him.
Yeah, like that's the mindset that this kid has, and a lot of the guys who wrestle under Empire that wrestle at Iona, you know, the mindset that Deagle just like implements onto these guys is like no matter what they scored, they didn't score enough. You know what I mean? So they're constantly looking to score. Like even if they're up 14-0, 14-0 isn't enough points to be scored. They need to score more, you know.
Exactly.
So he's up 10-1 with 10 seconds left to go, still looking to score points, not looking to, ride it out till the end of the clock, you know.
Yeah, definitely. He did it to him. He just did what he had to do.
Yeah,
Went out there and
exactly.
scored a bunch of points. Now we got the next one. Next we got Suleiman. All right,
Suleiman.
so here's something I want to take note of. So Suleiman's first match, he beat the crap out that kid. Suleiman's second match, he beat the kid pretty handily, but the kid got mad at him, and then firemen's carried him off the mat, and Suleiman hurt his knee. Yeah, the kid did that just to be a jackass because Suleiman was beating him up. But Suleiman wound up winning that match. So now he's going against Dalton Perry from M2. He's from Pennsylvania. I
He
don't know if that's a
wrestled
name.
Tyler Ferrara in the semifinals.
Yeah, so we're gonna play both of those matches. But
Okay, I wanted to watch that one actually.
yeah, so I saw that, but I was doing homework. But I stumbled upon this one because I was watching a match that was like a few mats away, and I saw it. So I immediately went to that. He wrestled Dalton Perry. Dalton Perry's, I don't know if that's a name you know, but he's extremely good.
Yeah.
He's young, but he's good. And M2 Training Center, right? David Taylor's club. They're in the Penn State room at times. Penn State guys
Yeah.
will coach. So they got all that. Suleiman, he came from New York City. He's been training in PA himself. Technically, he's a PA guy, right? So he's been training at Kiski and all that. That's where he goes. He was a prep national finalist. So he's very good in his own right. But somebody from New York City to go against somebody like Dalton Perry. I remember the first time I saw Dalton Perry wrestle was a Pennsylvania tournament during the COVID time. And I think it was, I don't know if it was Powerade, but it was something on Rockfin. And it was like a showcase. And he wrestled in it and he he did what he did. I've seen him wrestle since then. He's great. One thing you'll notice, look at Dalton Perry. He's a little bit younger than Suleiman. And look at Dalton Perry. Look at him. Looks like a man.
Yeah, he's a
This
pretty
kid,
big kid.
yeah, it's crazy the size difference, but Suleiman has good technique. But I just want to keep in mind for everybody, this is not a 100% Suleiman. So keep that in mind. Got us too quick. Dalton got out of there. See, Dalton's gonna realize Suleiman ain't nobody to fuck with. Dalton's gonna realize that in a sec. Ooh. Now, guys, I want to let you know watching that was not lag. That's how fast Dalton Perry shot. But Suleiman was fast with his defense. It's a good match here. It's not every day you get to see a New York City wrestler go against somebody that's at that high of a level. It's always good for us to get that exposure. But when we're there, we need to really battle. Suleiman is battling. Look at that. Oh, well, Dalton got that takedown there. Tight match. Suleiman's definitely one of the exceptions from New York City, one of the better wrestlers from New York City. But it's mainly his time at Kiski that's really gotten him making these big jumps. Because for somebody from New York City to have a close match with a guy like Dalton Perry, It's a little rare. He's making it happen. Technique, see? Suleiman is intelligent. He knows not to try and play the, there we go, slickness. See that? I remember I said earlier, people giving up points at the end of the match. You should be scoring points at the end of the match. That's what Suleiman did. He knows what he's doing. Whatchamacallit. So, yeah, he's doing a good job here. But audience watching, I just want to apologize for any expletives that I may have used throughout the duration of this video. Really not trying to curse up a storm here. It's just really invested in these matches because there's things to pick apart. There's stuff to talk about here. As far as New York City wrestlers getting this exposure, it's always interesting. Dalton gets out.
Yeah, he was looking for a mat return there, couldn't quite get it, and he went and cut him.
Now, again, you know, Suleiman is smart. Say that again?
I said him as soon as he let him up, he was right back in on another shot.
Yeah. And again, guys, Suleiman is smart. There's certain shots he's not taking. You know, he's being very slick. He knows he can't play the power game. I mean, like, look at Dalton. He's not playing the power game with him. So he has to be slick and technical. And it's working out for him. Dalton, I could tell Dalton's frustrated. He's having a tough time. He got the single leg, but he had to fight for it. Dalton's having a tough time. Suleiman's giving him a fight. And this is great to see. Suleiman spent a bunch of time in PA. That's where he goes to boarding school at. But he comes to train in the city whenever he gets a chance. You know, he trains with us still, beat the streets and all that. I've trained with him a little bit over the summer. You know, Suleiman at heart is still a New York City wrestler. He said that himself. One-point match here. Oh, no. Dalton scored a couple more points. Top game from Dalton Perry. Now Suleiman chooses neutral. Great job coming up with that. And that's where he got hurt at. Dalton did an excellent job with that headlock, but that re-aggravated Suleiman's knee. Yeah, he's in pain. Honestly, Dalton got pissed. Dalton got mad. Dalton didn't think that was going to be as tough as a match as he thought so far. It's definitely a lot tougher than he thought he would have, right? And I'm going to be confident in saying this. I'm pretty sure when New York City wrestlers, when we go to other places, right, they know we exist and they know the stigma. We're not usually all that good, right, to everybody else. But there's some of us that can come out here and do damage. And Suleiman's one of those people, right? He's a national finalist, prep national finalist. So he's definitely good. He's definitely one of the guys from New York City to come out of New York City and be really good. But Dalton Perry doesn't know that. But he's been finding that out during this match. And that headlock, it was great positioning and everything else, but I'm also pretty sure Dalton Perry's a little tight. I think he's a little upset. The match it wasn't as easy, or, you know, he wasn't able to dominate the way he usually does. Dalton Perry usually dominates pretty well, pretty handedly. Couldn't do that with Suleiman. Suleiman being as mentally tough as he is, he's going to get back in it. A lot of guys from New York City, they would have stopped. They would have quit after that. But Suleiman's not giving up here. He's going to keep wrestling. But I said, guys, in the beginning, keep in mind, he's not 100% going into this. So If he was 100%, I'm pretty sure that would have been a different scenario, but he's not 100%. So I think that changes things a bit. Got him. Well, Suleiman was already hurt. Just got hurt. So now he's having a little bit of a tougher time getting up from bottom.
Oh, almost got a defensive pin.
Almost. Dalton's having his way with him now. Soleil's in pain. Just laying on him. Oh, he did that. Okay, I got it. Did it so the ref could give him his points. I was up by 10. And for the crossface cradle. I saw that attempted in practice earlier. Dang, well, I'll say it again one more time. This was not a 100% Suleiman, but he wrestled excellently for not being 100% and even getting hurt during the match. He's able to come back and still wrestle pretty good. But I want to see this again. All respect to Dalton Perry. He's a great wrestler. I've watched him a bunch of times. I've listened to him do interviews and all. He's a great kid. He's a great wrestler. He really is. But I want to see this match again. I think Dalton Perry versus a 100% Suleiman can definitely be a treat to watch. So now we got Bogey. Not the big one, the little one. Got Devon Bogey, Legal Academy, pick a match. Yeah, let's look at his first one. Devon Bogey, Eagle Academy. He's tough. He's definitely tough. His older brother, Daniel Bogey, he was good. Coming out of New York City, placed at States a couple of times. Devon started coming up right before the COVID stuff happened. So I mean, he didn't really have like any real like normal seasons and stuff. And something to look at is the PSAL didn't get to train very much. They weren't really able to train too much. Like if they couldn't get to Jersey consistently and stuff like that, excuse me, they couldn't really get much quality training in. But it's good that they decided to compete anyway. You got to compete, get the rust off, and things like that. And Bogey's tough in his own right anyway. So they recently went to a tournament in PA not that long ago. It wasn't as big as this, but they went to one and they did pretty well. So any rust that they probably had probably went away already. But that kid hit a quick takedown on Bogey. And again, this is the levels. See the levels. New York City, top and bottom wrestling versus, I don't know where this kid's from, but the higher level states and sections, top and bottom. But Bogey is like he's fighting. He's tough. He has a tough personality. So wrestles tough. Got to create more movement on bottom now. Oh, this kid is good on top. This kid's pretty good on top. The guys in tournament, pretty good on top. And ran out for the entire period. Dang, that position right there. And they get your arm behind your back, that sucks. That just sucks to be in. It happens to me a little bit during practice. It sucks. He's a little flustered right now, but gotta get back in the game. Can't get flustered. Great movement on bottom. It's just the other kid he looks a little bigger. He's probably stronger. Bogey's definitely wrestling tough here. Wish Bogey could create some motion here. His head's down. The kid has his head down. Bogey's got to find a way here. Find a way to create that motion. Yes, yes. Good job. Good job. Oh, man.
There's got to be multiple moves. You can't be one and done.
Yeah. Yeah, he is doing a good job of creating that motion. Definitely is doing a good job there. Second period's over. Let's get to that third period. That return. Something Penn always taught us. Get mat return to come back up. The guy's gonna get so frustrated that they keep coming back up. But some guys, when they mat return, they immediately get into a turn after. It's kind of what happened there. Oh man, he's got his wrists. Oh man. He's just controlling Bogey. Bogey's going bottom the whole match.
Yeah. I've seen Bogey wrestle at the Ironman tournament when I was a senior. Um, he wrestled at 120, I believe. Um, I don't know if he ended up taking third. I believe he did. He wrestled Ali Fitzgerald. That was a good match. It was pretty close. Um,
Wow.
yeah, it was a close match actually.
But did he win?
Yeah,
Okay. For those of you who don't know, Ali Fitzgerald's one of the top female wrestlers in the nation during her time in high school. And now she's wrestling at Sacred Heart, which is one of the few Division I schools doing D1 women's wrestling.
Iowa just announced that they're starting a women's wrestling team as well.
Yep. And yeah, so Daniel mentioned that Bogey won. I mean, I'll try and be careful, but look at it like this. If you watch the UFC, the women are not fighting the men. If you watch boxing, the women are not fighting the men. Right? If you watch jiu-jitsu, the women are not fighting the men. Even in professional wrestling, even though that's contrived and predetermined, usually the women aren't doing anything to the men. Yeah, so if a guy and a girl happen to wrestle each other in a wrestling match, amateur wrestling, I mean, that's just by happenstance. But, if you look at like the UFC or boxing, for example, you never see intergender fights for, you figure it out. But even still, Ali Fitzgerald is a great wrestler, and I hope she does well at Sacred Heart. But Bogey getting a win over somebody that good, male or female, it's a big deal. But again, gotta look at it a certain way. But even from that, he grew into a different weight class and stuff like that because we know Bogey's good. I think it's probably the weight class, probably the lack of quality training because these kids in this tournament, man, they all got to train through the whole COVID time. A bunch of them probably got COVID and didn't care. Like they got to have quality training the whole time. We didn't. So, and I live in New York City. So while I was home, I didn't get to have much quality training until like later on towards the end. But a lot of these guys in this tournament, they kept training and training and training as usual. So I think that's part of the story as to why, there's plenty of people in New York City in this tournament that didn't do too well. And now we got Isaiah Torres. He was a freestyle state champ recently. And we got to pick a match here. He looks pretty all right. He didn't lose every single match. Get at this one right here. But going back to Bogey, though, like Daniel's seen him wrestle. I've seen him wrestle. I've trained with Bogey a little bit. He's good. I think it's just the adjustment of the new weight class that he's in. There's always an adjustment there. And it's also, he hasn't gotten quality training in. But I think that as the season comes around, gets in the full swing, he'll start to look like the Bogey of old, the Bogey that we are known to seeing, or used to seeing, rather. I don't know why they have commercials on Full Wrestling. Paying for it. Shouldn't be any commercials. But now we got Isaiah Torres from Grand Street campus. See what he can do.
Yeah, Isaiah is a very athletic kid. I wrestled him at the Farrell Grand Street duel.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
How'd it go?
I lost. It was a close match.
Oh.
I bumped up to wrestle him.
I've trained with Isaiah quite a bit. I have a weight advantage over him a little bit. I'm a 132 high school, but 133 pounder in college. I'm a man, right? So the man strength is there. But Isaiah is very good. He's strong in his own right a bit. And we were training together. He was able to match up with me pretty well. I remember we doing situationals live though. And he was like, "Hey, you're kind of heavy." I'm like, "Oh, you want to? Are too heavy for you?" He's like, "Kind of, yeah." He's laughing about it. I was a little bit heavy for him, but I had to like keep working real hard to like keep him from scoring and getting my takedowns and stuff. It definitely wasn't easy. Isaiah is definitely pretty dang good. And now he's moving around well. I think he's lagging. That the athleticism definitely helps. Definitely helps to be athletic. This thing is lagging. It's fine the whole time. Now it's lagging. I'm going to refresh the page a little bit. But Daniel, give your take on Bogey wrestling Ali Fitzgerald, because trying not to get canceled here, but try and give your take.
um, like I said, it was a very good match. It was very close. Um, Ali was giving it to him for a little bit. There were times where Ali almost had him. I believe it was like a 1 point or 2 point match, if I remember correctly, and she almost had the win towards the end. But Bogey managed to keep his composure very well and didn't let the big noise get to him because a lot of people were watching the match. A lot of people were getting into it because it's Ali, and whenever she wrestles a guy, like everybody's like focused on it. And especially if it's a close match, everybody's noisy, everybody's rowdy. But Bogey did a really good job of keeping his composure and not letting it get to him, and he still walked away with the win. Um, but I believe that was the third place match or the semifinals. I don't remember. I have to take a look at the bracket. Um, but if I
Regardless of what
remember,
it was a great match.
yeah, regardless of where it was a very good match.
Oh, if Bogey would have lost, man. Because I know his teammates, I know the kind of school he's in, man. If he would have lost, we wouldn't have heard the end of it. Good thing he came out on the winning side. Now, I hope this doesn't lag again. It looks like it won't. All right, it looks like it won't. Good exchange. But unfortunately, Isaias got scored on. He tilted right away. Dang. Dang. That leg Turk. It's nasty. Dang. Nasty leg Turk. He drilled that and beat the streets a little bit, but these guys in other places, man, they've been doing that since they were like babies. This kid's bigger than Isaias. Now, I've mentioned before about size and all that. I mentioned other times that's not the be all end all, but it helps a little bit, especially if you're used to a certain position and you develop strength in a certain position because your body gets used to that position. If you can keep getting to that same position over and over again, you can pretty much score whenever you want. Oh man, the tilts. I'm seeing a lot of tilts this whole tournament.
Tilts are the easiest way to score points on top. Just very basic wrestling in general just scores a lot of points. You don't need any flashy moves or anything over the top to get it done. Basic takedowns, basic tilts on top. Um, those score the most points, especially in high school and college wrestling.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Something I want to point out quick, there are some higher level coaches at this tournament. I think that might be Chance Marshall over there. And I saw David Taylor. He was coaching Dalton Perry. Saw him on match. So, having those higher level coaches does help, right? It is an advantage that Long Island has, upstate has over us. They have D1 All Americans and D1 NCAA champs and stuff like that coaching them. However, they're not the ones wrestling for you. You still gotta wrestle the match yourself. So something for the New York City wrestlers. Don't worry about who's coaching who or where they're from or whatever. You gotta wrestle. Isaiah's doing a good job of wrestling, moving around. But this guy, man, just has his number. This guy's just a lot more positionally sound. Man, yeah, you know what? That is Marshall over there coaching him.
It is.
Yeah, Zayas got one, but the kid already got back points. Okay. So, guys, for those of you who don't know who Chase Marshall is, he just wrestled in the World Team Trials, and he wrestled Jordan Burroughs. He lost, obviously, but it's kind of crazy that he just did that, and now he's over here coaching. And it speaks to the power of wrestling, really. That's cool to see. People giving back, He just competed at a big tournament. He's out here coaching. David Taylor, he won his Olympic gold medal, but he's still out here coaching and stuff. So that's great. As he's preparing for the World Championships, right? As we speak, he's over there, or traveling over there. But he came quickly to the Journeyman to come coach. That's pretty cool. But like I
Right.
said before, what were you saying?
Oh, so I found the bracket. That
Oh,
match was the semifinals,
okay,
and
cool.
Bogey won 6-4,
Ah,
and then Bogey lost in the finals 8-3.
to who?
To a kid from Rocky Point.
I don't know where Rocky Point is. Is that Long Island?
Yeah, they're a good school.
Ah, yeah, Long Island. See, Long Island and upstate, man. We gotta get up there.
And Cameron Mayfield wrestled at this tournament as well. He took third. He lost to Mikey in the semifinals.
Ah,
He lost 8-2, and then he took third. He won by forfeit, it says.
oh, okay. So he took third, but he didn't really take third. He didn't have a match, but yeah, like I said, and I know at Farrow, you guys got Ray Brinswick, who's a two-time D1 All-American from Iowa, coached by Dan Gabe, right? So like I said, having higher level coaches, it helps. It's an advantage. But again, you know, they're not the ones wrestling. We are. So we got to make sure that we get in a good mindset and go out there and try and beat these guys. Cameron Mayfield. Let's see what match I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick a shorter one. So Cameron's teammates with Bogey. So Cameron actually wrestled the day before. He didn't wrestle in the main event. He wrestled in the overflow. I don't know why they did it like that. I don't know what the purpose of it is, but there was an there was an overflow Saturday, Sunday with the main event. Tristan Levin actually, he wrestled on both days. He had some matches on the overflow, some matches on the main event. How can you figure this out? Because in the first match I showed of him, Jacob was wearing regular clothes, and then the next match I showed, Jacob had his gear on. So it's an indicator there because Jacob wrestled that day. So Cameron in the overflow. You're probably wondering, why does it matter the overflow of the main event? I guess the way they did it is like all the returning All Americans and the high level guys wrestled in the main event, hence why it's called the main event. And the other guys that weren't necessarily all that great at the moment or weren't ranked or whatever, they wrestled in the overflow. The extra kids that weren't, right. But Cameron Mayfield, he did All American at Virginia Beach before coming to high school, so he is good. It's just that again, a lot of guys in New York City didn't have any quality training, quality practices, for a while because of COVID. So and not everybody was gonna let everybody go to Jersey and go here and go there and stuff like that all the time. I was fortunate enough to be allowed to do that, but not everybody was with or without the vaccine. So, but at least these guys are coming out here competing. Gotta come out here and compete. It's the only way to really get back on the right track. This guy got 2 already. Threw that leg in, like immediately. So what Cameron has to do is get both legs to one side, put them together, and then just try to get into a crab wrap position. I'd rather have somebody put me in a crab ride than be in this position right here. And that's the end of the match. Came down to top and bottom, as far as that goes.
A lot of these matches come down to top and bottom. A lot of guys
Yeah.
from New York City can't get their work on top and bottom.
Yeah.
Do well, they compete well on the feet, but when it comes to top and bottom, it's like they hit a roadblock, they get stuck, they don't know what to do.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Now, there's a really cool match Marcus had. They were both on this mat. I'm trying to figure out which one do I click on. I think it could be this one. You gotta wait for it to start. Mitchell Barkus again, Eagle Academy. Teammates with Cameron and Bogey. They were all at the All-American camp that I was at. And yeah, again, they're all scrapping hard. They're all training as well as they could for the time being. But again, without quality training or consistent quality training, coming into tournaments like this, it's going to be a little hard to really get going. And again, the higher level coaches does help the other guys. However, we've proven before that it doesn't matter all that much because, again, the coach is not the ones wrestling. The wrestlers are. So Marcus is doing a pretty good job. You know what? This is the match. I remember it. This is the match. It's a very good match here. Marcus is good upper body. It's pretty good upper body. Nice splash, double, didn't get any. Wow. Again, the resilience of these other guys, man. Because a lot of kids in New York City, they get blasted like that, they're getting scored on. But these other guys, man, just resilient as they can be. That wasn't the best attempt in the world. Ooh, inside trip coming. Oh, tried to give it back to him. Turned into a Greco match. Good job, Barkus, fighting through that position, winning that position. And something else with New York City guys, I can see it at this tournament. With the exceptions of like Jacob and Tristan, I'm always saying that because they train in Jersey mostly, so they're gonna be a little bit better at it. And Suleiman as well, being in PA, is gonna be better at it. A lot of guys in New York City, with the exception of those three, when they get on top, they get into a position, it takes them a second to turn someone. Meanwhile, everybody else from Jersey, Long Island, upstate, etc., the good guys, when they get on top, they turn and they turn and they turn like a wheel. They turn like a wheel and they keep scoring. This is what's been happening the whole tournament, with the exception of Jacob, Suleiman, and Tristan. They're really good when they get on top. But even them, with the higher level guys, the upper echelon, it's still a struggle. He's going for that. He's going for head weaver now. He's going for cradle. Is Barkus going to be able to get the cradle?
He's got it locked up. He can't finish. He doesn't know how to finish from there.
Well, he did. To be fair, the other kid does have his arm, like in between his legs. He was blocking it. It's gonna be pretty difficult to finish from there. Now he's got a front headlock. Now he's trying to do there. Yeah, the kid has his leg. You gotta do something, Barkus. You can't just stay there. Don't want to be on your butt. If you don't know how to recover from there and score from that position somehow, not the best idea to be on your butt.
Already, third and final period.
Mm.
And he's choosing bottom, which is smart. You don't want to risk going neutral and giving up another 2 points when you can get out, tie the score, score reversal, and now you're in the lead.
Yeah, and he got himself a caution. Something Stephen Keith told us before the pandemic happened, 2019. Told us, take your cautions home with you. There's nothing wrong with being prepared or extra prepared to get out from bottom. But, as the initial move was good, with everything else, you gotta have more than one move. Now, Barkish does wind up pulling something out here.
Kid's got a bar.
Yeah.
You got 20 seconds left. Now's the perfect time to throw anything out if you have anything.
The kid kept stalling.
With short time left, throw something out there because depending on how much time is left, he won't have enough time to react and tie up the scores or put himself in a lead of his own. You got almost 15 seconds left.
Exactly.
Plenty enough time to score some points on bottom.
Yeah. What he has to do is tie it up. It's only a 1-point match. But thank God for that stall call. That stall call really helped him out.
Wait a second.
What happened?
Oh, I thought they were giving. Wait.
I don't know.
No way.
Yeah, because of stall call.
They called him for stalling for what was it? Putting his hands on his head
Yeah, the other
and
kid. Yeah,
for an escape.
yeah. That's what I told you. It's a crazy match. Marcus almost won, but
That's
then that happened. Peterson,
awful.
and then look at Barry. Look at Barry. Oh, crazy match. Crazy match.
And he scored a last second takedown. What?
Yeah,
That's awful. Oh my god.
crazy match.
At least he got it back, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? That would
yeah.
have been awful if he lost that way. That would have been so bad. Oh my god.
And I feel for Marcus, man. I wanted Marcus to win. I thought Marcus was gonna win, and then that happened. And
Yeah,
oh
it was
man,
literally handed to him. Oh
yeah.
my god.
I think. See, I would have just at that point, man. I would have ran away. I wouldn't have tried to take him down at that point.
No, yeah, there was no point in trying to even go for a takedown. You
That,
kind
but
of
that's what Marcus did.
burn it.
But Marcus did that, and then he got burned. Yeah,
You could have just literally have done donuts on the mat and you still would have been fine.
yeah. I mean that's what happened now. So now I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. That's yeah, that was crazy. So who stood out to you? Like, let's get some last bullet points.
Um, I definitely think the Levin stood out a little bit. Um, all that extra practice and stuff that they've been going to has definitely been it shows. They definitely have improved a lot since last year. Um, it was nice seeing, one of the Catholic guys. Um, but overall, from what I saw, from the exception of like the Levins and stuff like that, even actually they're included in this too. Like top and bottom is a weak point. Because like in their better matches they were moving, but they weren't moving enough, and in other matches they really just didn't do a lot of action. Um, and that's New York City as a whole. Um, so if there's one takeaway from this whole weekend as a city, it's definitely top and bottom work needs to be improved a lot. I feel like a lot of our guys in New York City can compete on the feet, but they can't compete top and bottom. It's like that's their huge struggling point. That's their weak point. Um, and if they improve that and they tweak some things, there's a lot more of those matches. Our guys walk away with the win. They were doing well on the feet. They were competing, scoring takedowns, trading takedowns, but they were giving up a lot of points on top and bottom. If we improve that, the score comes down. A lot of more of our guys end up winning, and that's just the fact. That's what needs to be done.
Yeah, and I'm seeing it with the alumni in college and myself even. I've been working on that in the practice room and things like that. Like Demetrius, he's been well before COVID, he was killing it, right? And he never really had much of an issue with top or bottom or anything, but he improved on those things.
Yeah,
If we can improve on those things, like Terry, I don't remember Terry getting written out in college. So if
yeah,
we can improve on those things, then we'll get to the level that they're at. But I don't think that we should wait until college to improve on that stuff. We can get better at that now, like those other guys are. And I don't think it again. I saw David Taylor, I saw Chance Marsteller, right? But the higher level coaches, I think that sometimes the guys get a little bit they see so and so is coaching them and they get a not Suleiman with the exception of him, but the other guys, I know they see them. They see them there. And they get a little, flustered by that. It's like, look, that doesn't matter.
yeah, exactly.
Wrestling them. Wrestling, the wrestler that's in front of you. You're not wrestling David Taylor, you're not wrestling Marshall. Wrestling the guy in front of you. And, I also noticed some of these guys broke. You know,
Yeah,
the Levins didn't really break too much, but they didn't break it all. Like the Levins and Suleiman, they didn't break it all, but everybody else, they kind of broke a little bit. And Bogey
yeah,
kept fighting. Marcus definitely kept fighting, but a lot of the rest of the guys, once they got on bottom, they broke a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's just the attitude we have. Like, we hate that position. We hate top and bottom because we're usually not good at it. But
Yeah.
you need to want to get out from bottom, not because you hate being down there, but you want to need to get out. You need to want to get out from bottom because you have the confidence to get out from bottom.
Yeah. 100%.
And these guys, they had confidence on top. They had in their heads, look, I'm gonna turn you a bunch of times, and they turned everybody a bunch of times.
Mhm.
And I think another thing is on neutral, we can compete on the feet, yeah, but it's obvious that Jacob Levin, Tristan Levin, and Suleiman looked drastically better than everybody else in the city. And that's not me, kissing up to anybody or anything. It's just watching the matches. You guys saw it here. It's obvious that they look better. And is part of it that they trained elsewhere? I don't really think so. Because, they can't, well, Suleiman's the exception, but Jacob and Tristan, well, Tristan's in middle school, but Jacob, he wrestles in the city. He's not from New Jersey. He only trains there when he can. And if COVID didn't exist and the world didn't change the way it did and we kept doing things as normal, he would have spent more time at Tottenville than he would have at CJ.
Yeah.
Right? He spends more time in the city than he does at CJ during the season. So, I mean, the fact that he trains in Jersey, that's not like a advantage. That's not like cheating or anything like that, right? It's just the fact that, he's able to do that. He's able to train there all the time. But even with that, he's still in the city most of the time, and we still have our own style of wrestling and things like that. And there's still improvements we need to make, and I've said it before, you can go train wherever you want, whether it's money, resources, connections, you can train wherever you want, but you need to have the right mindset when you're doing that. Jacob has it, Tristan has it, Suleiman has it, even Isaiah and people like that, they have the right mindset. It's a matter of putting things together.
Yeah.
We're not New Jersey wrestlers just because we train in Jersey or whatever the case. The New York City wrestlers. So, I mean, wrestle like it, right? You're going to wrestle like where you're predominantly training at.
Mhm.
So I think top and bottom, no matter where they train at, it's not automatically going to get fixed just because you go here, you go there. You get private lessons sometimes. Let's work on that. You got to keep wrestling and finding things out. You got to keep coming to these high level tournaments,
Yeah.
because even though Jacob, he's returning All-American, I don't know how many high level tournaments he's been at. Like a lot of the guys in the city, we're not usually exposed to that, and even when we are, how often are we getting quality training that's equivalent to what they're getting?
Yeah.
It's not really common. Like, I remember Terry was saying that he hated training in New Jersey because he feels that like it's disrespectful. Like, he's a New York City wrestler, so he's gonna train there. And I would always see him training with Nunez and people like that and all that. And he got as good as he did primarily training in the city.
Yeah.
And he was able to beat a bunch of guys that were spending tons of money training here, there, and here just by training in the city.
Yeah.
So, I don't want anybody to sit there and act like the fact that the Levins train in Jersey or that Suleiman's going to school in PA, like that makes that big of a difference. It helps, yes, but these guys were good already. Jacob was already really good in middle school. Tristan's like coming up, but he's already been good before he started training in Jersey.
Yeah.
Suleiman was already really good in the city already under Coach Webb. Right? He was already really good. It would be a different story with these guys if they came in to CJ or into Pennsylvania without what they had. It would be a different story. Because there's guys that train alongside Jacob at CJ, like over these past few years, even when I was in high school, and Jacob stands out significantly from the other people that train with him at CJ. Why is that? It goes by person to person. Maybe Jacob put things together a little bit differently than they did. It's
Yeah.
not just automatically, oh, I train in Jersey, so I'm going to be better than everybody. It doesn't work like that
Yeah.
because they went to states, and then 2020 they went to states, and none of the guys that trained at CJ were able to place.
Yeah.
That changed the next year, but it's not like the be all end all. But the bottom line is there has to be a way we got to get better at these positions because it came down to the same thing. It would be different if different things were happening. That's like, okay, we just need to get better. But it came down to the same thing. We were competing. We were competing on the feet, right? Jacob, Suleiman, Tristan, and Bogey, they kept moving on bottom. They moved better than everybody else did on bottom. But everybody else that didn't win a match. But even the guys that won matches, they won like close matches, or some guys lost close matches, like Elias getting pinned at the end of the match.
Mm-hmm.
He had a really good match, but that also comes down to resiliency at the end of it. You can't get too overhyped because you're in the lead. You
Yeah.
can't get lazy if you're getting beat up and stuff, It's just a matter of like mindset. But I think the number one thing is we need more exposure. We need more exposure, and we need to get back. To it. What do you think?
No, yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I think that a lot of these guys need to train more. Um, you know, by going to other places, it doesn't by default make you better. You have to get something out of it. You know what I mean? Like going to Jersey doesn't mean that you're better because you're in Jersey, but getting a feel because Jersey does have better wrestlers, wrestling with them and wrestling with them often, you start to piece things together. You bring that with you. You start standing out. You compete a lot better. So I definitely think that traveling to different clubs and stuff like that will make you a better wrestler. Um, a lot of guys in Farrell, we just stuck with Farrell. We were still good. Some guys went to Apex, which is in Jersey, but not all of us go to these different clubs. And Farrell is still a very good wrestling program. Um, and it also depends on who you have in your room. If you don't have a very good wrestling room, go to other places. Don't be ashamed to travel to other clubs because you don't have a good wrestling room. You don't have good practice partners. Um, because even Farrell, even though we had a great practice room, we were still going to other clubs just to get extra practice, wrestle with better wrestlers. So don't be ashamed to venture out there and go and wrestle different people and go to these tougher tournaments and don't be afraid to wrestle. You know,
Yeah, just trying to get better at wrestling, and I'm glad you actually said it because a lot of people don't like hearing it. I actually had to do that during high school quite a bit, but yeah, get to where the better wrestlers are at. If they're not where your school is, get to where they're at. But most of these guys here, they got good rooms. Like Eagle Academy is a good room. They produced great wrestlers in the past. Tottenville is a dang good room. I was going all the way down there, traveling 3 hours down there during the Big Apple games in 2019 to train there, right? Like some of these guys have good rooms, and add on to the fact the Levins go to Jersey. Add on to the fact that Suleiman, he's MPA most of the time at boarding school. That's a good thing there. But as far as the New York City guys that don't train in those other places, we're not saying you have to, but I mean, there's got to be ways to put things together. You got to look at the way these guys are wrestling and the way they're putting things together.
mm,
That's really the case there, Because Brandon put things together great, and look what he did. Terry put things together great, and look what he did. And they rarely, if ever, went anywhere else to go train. They
yeah,
stayed in the city. So you gotta find a way to put things together. And I think that's really the story of this entire tournament, putting
yeah,
things together. So yeah, that's really all we've got to say about the Journeyman Championships. I was surprised watching it live. I was surprised that a lot of guys lost all their matches. I was very surprised at that.
yeah,
I'm not disappointed in anybody or anything like that because, like I said, I talked to Jacob. He'll be back. Um, he sticked out a little bit because he trains in Jersey and stuff, and he had just All American and all that not that long ago. So he sticks out a little bit, but he'll be back. Jacob Levin, he'll be back. He said himself that he's a rock. He'll be back. He's not going anywhere. He's definitely he's gonna grow from this. And then we got Suleiman. Again, Suleiman was not 100% throughout this entire tournament. I think if he was, things are a little bit different. I think that him and Dalton Perry have a much closer match. And I'm thinking Suleiman wins in overtime because Dalton Perry's very good. So Suleiman wins in overtime if he's 100%. But he was 100% going in that match. But I want to see that one again. So
yeah,
those are two things that stick out. But seriously though, like things like that can happen and things like that can help. So, whether guys win or lose, the New York City guys getting to go to these tournaments and wrestling high level people, they're getting coached by freaking Olympic gold medalists and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I said it doesn't matter much, but it does matter a little bit. It has something to do with why they're good. If they're able to compete against guys like that, if Suleiman competed, they can then grow from that. But you got to have the right mindset. And you got to be able to put things together, really.
Yeah.
Like there's an example here of somebody that is at Dalton Perry's club. His name's Jude Swisher. I had met him a little bit a few times on Instagram and stuff, and they host the HMA Wrestling podcast. I would ask questions there time and again, and he went out there and he won the Journeyman. And I was watching his matches as I was watching the New York City guys, and he just looked very dominant. He looked very dominant in every single match, and I didn't see every match. I saw a few, but in the few matches I saw, he didn't score a lot of points. Not that he wasn't trying to, but something I compared with the New York City guys, especially in neutral, I think they tried a little too hard. Like I remember Jacob's first match. I know we didn't get to see it because Full Wrestling decided to act silly, but that first match, he wrestled somebody from M2, but he tried a little too hard to force the dump and stuff. I know he likes to do the dump a lot. He's got to improve on that, but I know he likes to do it a lot. That's a part of his arsenal, but he tried to force a few moves a little bit too much. And when you force things, it can, you'll pay. You'll pay for that. And he wanted to get pinned in that match. But as we saw in the matches we saw, he did improve from every single match. Every single match, he definitely wrestled better and better and better and better. So that's a great thing for Jacob. And I'm glad that he's mentally strong and that when we talked earlier today, he's that mindset, man. I always talk about his mindset. His mindset is just great. And he's one of the few New York City wrestlers that has like a really great mindset. So whether he wins, whether he loses, he's definitely going to grow, and he's going to grow from this tournament. He's definitely going to be back.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got Suleiman. Great job in the first couple of matches. I know we didn't look at them, but he was killing people. But that second match, he got hurt because that kid got mad. He was beating him up, and then he fireman carried him off the mat. So he was just mad. And Suleiman hit his knee on the floor, so that's why he was hurt. Like I said, Suleiman definitely did a great job, kept wrestling. I don't know if he won the Todd Ferrara match. I don't know about that. I have to ask him that. But he definitely looked great, even though he was hurt. And he got hurt again against Dalton Perry, but he came back, and he had 2 more matches after that. So whether the results or win or lose, the fact that he kept wrestling was great because plenty of guys in New York City would not have kept wrestling.
No, not at all.
Yeah, and we've definitely seen it. A lot of guys that get hurt, not injured, but hurt, and they'll just stop. And it's like, well, you gotta be a little tougher than that. Pretty sure there's guys in that tournament that were a little banged up, but they kept going. And I think I could just it's just the mindset and being able to put things together. These guys, one thing about New York City wrestlers, one last thing, it's hard for us to take whatever we get from these tournaments or the camps we go to and bring it back into our rooms. Because not every, like you said, not every room is good. I'm just going to say it. Not every wrestling room in New York City is good. Whether that's due to the coaches, whether that's due to the wrestlers in the room, well, they got to figure that out for themselves. But, not every wrestling room in New York City is all that good. So, like my experience, whenever I would go to camp or go to a big tournament or something, whether I do well or not, it'd be hard for me to grow from that. It'd be hard for me to take what I learned and bring it back to the room. It's like a lot of rooms in New York City are like that. So we can't even answer the question if we were asked, but that's, I think, the main thing they have to do. The main thing they have to do is take what they learned from this weekend, bring it into their rooms and grow from it, learn from it. Go on Flow, watch those of you who have it, go on Flow and watch your matches back and pinpoint certain things. One thing Jacob does is he told me this when I interviewed him on my show a while back. He said that he always records his matches. He always has his matches recorded. He always watches them back so he can learn from them, he can grow from them. Yeah, it might sting watching yourself lose in 30 seconds. Not to say he did, but just an example. It might sting to see yourself get pinned or whatever, but you got to learn from it. You got to see, all right, why did I get pinned? What position was I in before that happened? What did I do right? What did I do wrong? Things like that. You got to watch yourself after you're done wrestling so that you can, learn from it and grow from it, things like that. So that's an example. And I can 99.9 guarantee that's what he was doing. I'm pretty sure that he was watching back his matches throughout the tournament, and that's why he was able to improve throughout the tournament. Same thing with Tristan. He was able to improve throughout the tournament. So it's just a few things that the New York City wrestlers need to implement. Suleiman does that as well, even during practice. You got to implement that. And that's part of how they're going to put things together. But they've got to go back into their wrestling rooms, go back into Beat the Streets, because it's a little difficult with Beat the Streets at times to do that. You got to go back in there and really work on stuff, And it's not necessarily their fault. It's just a matter of the partners, right? What kind of partners do we have? So the New York City wrestlers that competed this past weekend, go back and get the best partners, because you found out that there's a higher level. So do it. I gave a bunch of options out. Daniel gave a bunch of options out. We're not trying to pinpoint anybody. We're not trying to pick on anyone or single anyone out or anything like that. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just saying, here's your options. Here's what you need to do in order to get better. You need to pick, what you feel is most important for you in order to get better. So, but the bottom line is they need to get better at positioning, and they need to be able to put things together a lot better than they do. The three guys we mentioned, Jacob, Tristan, and Suleiman, they did a good job of that. Now, what about everybody else? And also with them, they made mistakes as well. Well, Suleiman didn't really make many mistakes. He just got hurt. So sometimes that takes you out of it a little bit. But as far as the Levins go, there were some mistakes being made. But got to plug those holes in. But they did significantly better than everybody else did. But in terms of the city as a whole, nobody really did good. So we got to plug those holes in. We got to put things together. That's really like a long answer to a shorter thought.
Yeah.
It's really that. So question is, how are we going to end this?
I mean, I think you really said it best. There's not much I have to add on to it.
Oh, cool. Yeah. And we're being blunt. We're being straightforward about it, so that's what you guys got to do. But all in all, like I watched it live. Dan didn't watch it live, but I did, and I enjoyed watching it. I appreciate New York City and Beat the Streets for bringing you guys out there, and I appreciate the New York City Wrestlers for deciding to compete at it. I know it's a big tournament, but appreciate that you guys went out there and actually competed, because back in high school, Beat the Streets didn't bring us to Journeyman. So they offered to bring you guys, and those of you that signed up and decided to compete, knowing that you weren't really as ready as you could have been, you still went out there and competed. That's great. I really appreciate that you guys did that. You made New York City look good just by going out there and deciding to wrestle at all, which is a really good thing. And like we said, build on this. Do whatever you have to do to build on this, but you have to build on it. Can't just have this happen and then try and forget about it. You got to build on it. Let it stick in your mind a little bit so you actually get better. And to end this off, well, let's figure this out right now. So Daniel runs the Red and Black Wrestling podcast. I run TechFall Table Talks, but we do not do things the same way. Daniel's is on YouTube, mine is not. So guessing you'll put this on YouTube somehow, or
Me?
yeah, like I could send you the video.
Yeah, if you want, I can try and do that for you. Or do you want to make one for yourself?
Well, I'm not like on YouTube or anything. All I would do is like rip the audio and like put it on Anchor or Spotify or something. But since
Okay.
you're like, you're the YouTube guy, so I mean, you could just take it and put it on YouTube.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, cool. Yeah, so for everybody listening, this will be available on Daniel's podcast on YouTube. It'll be available on my podcast on Anchor, Spotify, and well, Spotify is the biggest one, so
Yeah.
be there if you can't like watch the video right away. But this is gonna go out right after we're done. So those who've been waiting for so long, you're gonna get to see this or hear it. I recommend you guys go on Daniel's thing and watch this because you'll get more of a perspective of what we're saying and why we're saying it if you actually
Yeah.
watch the matches.
Yeah.
But if you can't watch them right now, you can listen to them and then listen to it and then watch it later. But the bottom line is, no matter what you do first, you need to watch it because, matter of fact, you know what? I'm not even gonna put this on my show. Matter of fact, it's all gonna be Daniel. I'm gonna promote that because he does the video format, so it makes more sense to do it that way. And watching it is really gonna be a lot better than listening to it.
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, let's end this. How are we gonna do it? We're gonna close it.
Uh, I don't know.
Didn't prepare. Yeah, we didn't really prepare an outro. But hey, you guys know me already. Don't need to introduce myself. On the TechFall Table Talks podcast. This is Daniel Adams. He runs the Red and Black Wrestling podcast. You know, we're just trying to grow the sport of wrestling and giving New York City guys some pointers and the Catholic school guys some pointers, you know, on how to get better. And we'll also shout you guys out whenever you guys accomplish something pretty cool. So we'll be able to take this, put it right on YouTube so it's easily accessible for everybody. Everybody can get to YouTube. And I'll make sure to promote the hell out of this. Make sure everybody sees it. Dan is going to promote it as well. And well, most important thing, those of you that wrestled, those of you whose matches we saw, I'm going to tag you guys in whatever post I put up. Let me know and let Daniel know what you thought. Let me know about how you feel about what I said. Let Daniel know how you feel about what he said. You know, let us know. Critique us a little bit. But be open to criticism, you guys. One thing about New York City, you guys aren't very open to criticism. Some of the coaches too. So be open to criticism, you know. Understand that we're watching these matches, we're seeing them play out, right? We're not just assuming things, we're watching the matches. So, you know, it's all based on how you guys are wrestling. So be open to criticism, but let us know how you thought of it. Let us know if we did a good job or not, right? Let us know these things, and then we'll try to improve on that in the next recap we do. But it was fun doing this.
Yeah, for real.
It was real fun. It was interesting, very interesting
Yeah.
to watch it because, again, New York City, we don't usually get that exposure unless we earn it, right? So it's cool that they took you guys out there and you guys wrestled. And I appreciate all of you for going out there and wrestling because you didn't have quality training consistently as everybody else at that tournament did. So it's cool to see you guys even compete there, no matter how you did. So yeah, that's all we've really got to say about that. Any last words, Daniel? Or
Nope. Just keep improving, guys. I know going out to a tournament and getting a loss is tough. You know, going anywhere and not taking first place is tough. But if you don't learn from any of this, you're losing more than once. You know, if you're not going out here taking your losses and learning from them, you just lost twice in one match. Um, and like I said before, don't be afraid to venture out to different schools in New York City and different clubs in New Jersey, Pennsylvania to wrestle other guys. Sign up for more tournaments, get more matches. That's the stuff that helps you out. That's the stuff that betters your wrestling. So don't be afraid to do any of that, you know. And if it comes down to financial issues, maybe you can't afford to go to different clubs and stuff like that, talk to Beat the Streets. Beat the Streets is very good with getting kids to those clubs, to those extra camps, those practices, those tournaments. Um, there are plenty of options. You just got to be willing to go forth in doing it. Um, that's how you get better, and that's how New York City gets better. And that's all it goes down to.
exactly, just gotta be willing to do whatever it takes. So yeah, that's all we've got to say about that. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Most importantly, I hope you learned something from it. Make sure you learned something from it. And then yeah, be looking forward to doing another recap. Maybe we'll team up again. Maybe we'll
Yeah,
do it individually. Never know. Maybe we'll add somebody to it. But this is definitely really cool. And again, props to Beat the Streets and props to New York City Wrestlers for deciding to even go to this tournament. knowing that they were at a disadvantage in a way. So yeah, that's all we got to say about that, and looking forward to the next time we do this.
Yeah, for real.